You know the rules. No droids, no bounty hunters, no Raylos, no Ray Nobodies, no Kyle Ron fan or Adam Driver fans, no Disney sequel trilogy fans at all. We do this for the love of Star Wars. Those people don't love Star Wars. They are narcissists, and we don't cater to enablers. We don't cater or enable narcissists. Gotta put the dog in his kennel. House, you've been out long enough. Let mommy do her thing. So I didn't do an early live stream because I was at the eye doctor getting new glasses. I don't have them yet, and getting fitted for contact lenses. So I am here. Oh shit! Doing stuff, and decided to address a situation. So we have people in our midst that are Star Wars fans, that are part of the fandom, who really don't want to believe that it could be possible that George Lucas would come back. Okay, fine. I'd say it's a 50-50 chance, right? And the reason simply is this. I think about the money. I think about what their Disney has got going, and they're in trouble. Now, I'm not saying they're going to go bankrupt. There's no way Disney will ever go bankrupt. But I am saying is that their earnings power is not good. Their streaming service is plateaued in subscriptions. Their cruises aren't started yet, I don't think. The parks are open, but no one's going. Probably because it's too expensive. Blame that on the price of oil, which raises prices everywhere. Because if you're spending that much more on gasoline and fuel to ship goods, in order to pay for the gasoline, you're going to have to raise prices, and you end up hurting your customers. That's how, my God, that's economics. Even a dim bulb like me knows that. Disney needs a hit. Disney needs a home run. Cruella is not doing well. All right, I mean, it's which doesn't surprise me. Who wants to go to a movie about empathizing with someone who wants to kill Dalmatian puppies and turn them into coats? All right, I know I don't like empathizing with villains. There's no reason to do it. It's like, as good as the Joker was, and I bought it. I bought it just because I thought it was phenomenal. But when you kind of wheedle it down to its essence, it's about empathizing with somebody who's a fucking murderer. All right, why don't we just have empathy for that guy who led Germany in the 30s, or that asshole who led the Soviet Union in the 30s and 40s, all right? Or that dreary little scumbag who led China in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, all right? I mean, why not? You know, I agree. People aren't born bad, but I also think that there is such a thing as the bad seed. However, there are just plain fucking evil people out there, okay? And there's nothing wrong with having fictionalized versions of them. You know, you could give them a clinical name, well, they're psychotic. So, what is that, an excuse? Should we, John Wayne Gacy, should we give him an excuse? He sure as hell was looking for one. Okay, movies that empathize with horrible people are bad, is just bad storytelling. Okay, it's bad storytelling. When you watch Star Wars episodes 1 through 3, you see the rise and fall of Anakin Skywalker. At the end, it's a tragedy. It's a great tragedy. But if you empathize with Anakin, you're an idiot. As Obi-Wan said, you did that yourself when he was talking to Anakin about Padme being driven away. And it's true. Okay, it's true. What are you going to do about it? There's nothing you can do about it. So I tend to look at this stuff when I hear people say, well, Disney going to come back. Yeah, yeah. And think, are you aware of what's actually going on with Disney as far as what they're earning? Oh, howdy, guys. Yeah, Daryl, I agree. I mean, Disney needs a shot in the arm. Okay. And when I first, hey, Mexican Iron Man. Oh, I know they are. I know. I mean, dude, when I look and when I look at, I'll give you a story. I think Mexican Iron Man will be interested. I was desperate to figure out a way and to see a way out of this horrible conundrum that Star Wars found itself in. Started looking at Disney's stocks. And at the lowest point, back in March of 2020, it was at $79 a share. Okay, that's horrible. That is terrible. Now, it's inflated because, yeah, I know. Uh, they borrowed a lot of money and they bought a lot of those stocks back. All right. And they've kept the price inflated even when it goes down by a few points after the investors' meetings. Uh, they've kept the price inflated enough to where I think with their what Chapek and oh, I know they are. I know, and that too. I really think someone needs to talk to Drunk 3PO about this because there's a reason why they would want George back. So I can see it on their end. But the idea that he would want to come back because there's some sort of grudge there, so he could actually fix what they broke, is unbelievable. But let's go through this. They are at least 100 billion in debt, if not more. All right. Now, some debt is fine. Just like if a country has a little debt, it's fine. If a country has an overwhelming debt, it's fucked up. Okay, that's bad. Kind of like what's going on with the US government right now. And we've got an idiot who thinks printing dollars won't cause inflation, and now we're looking at inflation. Energy prices cause inflation. Printing too much money causes inflation. I mean, I don't know. And I don't know much about economics, but I do know that. So Disney's in a conundrum. Star Wars and Lucasfilm is in trouble. It is a black hole of suck. You know, I was just at Target buying a bunch of clothes because I can, and that's what I can afford, and was standing there looking at the books, and I saw Justina Ireland's crappy book out, the kids' book, and I saw Pete Strozek. Pete Strozek, I think that's his name, is one of the story groups. He's the guy that sort of stole John Rensler's job. Okay. And he's the one that writes all the making of stuff now. And he's a left wing SJW sack of crap. Okay. And the Mandalorian book is there. That actually might sell. But nothing else will. I mean, all they've got right now that really was pulling in money is streaming, and subscriptions are plateauing. It's not hard to put two and two together here. You know, I mean, I'm not the only one talking about this. Clownfish TV talks about this. Midnight's Edge talks about this. A lot of people are saying, hey, you know, Disney's in a financial cul-de-sac right now, a bad one, with no fucking way out. So what do? They've got a division. We'll call Lucasfilm a division of Disney. It is in the red by billions. Do I have to go through how much Disney invested? Not only buying Lucasfilm for 4.3 billion, how much they invested as far as the parks. They probably invested close to $7-8 billion, and all I've got to show for it is about 2.5 billion. When I say 2.5, I'm being extremely liberal here. Okay, with the numbers. Okay, something has to give. And that thing is, and it's Bob Chapek. And I'm going to say this to you guys. Bob Chapek might not be the hero we want, but he's a hero we need because he's an accountant and he's looking at the numbers going, you know. And a guy like that is if he's an accountant, if he's a money guy, if he's financial, he's no bullshit. He's absolutely no bullshit. People I know in the money business are very straightforward. And Mexican Iron Man, for example, Andre at Midnight's Edge, our investment guy, and how do we get this back on track? I don't see him, flocking to Kennedy's side. Here's the thing. Kathleen Kennedy's a lot of things. Smart, she's not. Okay, she's a lot of things. Wise, she's not. She's a lot of things. Creative, she's not. Okay, the idea that you would let that woman by herself have a budget of $225 million to do. Oh, I know, Daryl. To do anything is, in retrospect, insane. She doesn't know what she's doing. She's been an absent mom, and oh, I know. You guys, listen to what Mexican Iron Man is saying. He's right. And I am speechless when I see people say, Lucas isn't going to come back. Why would he want to? Yep, fire Pablo. I'm like, well, she's ambitious, and that's all she is. That's it. She's ambitious and clever and a somewhat decent politician till she runs into somebody who's better, and she did. Jon Favreau. Let's put it this way. I would put money on Generation X against a baby boomer any day of the week, Monday through Friday, any day of the week. But the idea that George wouldn't come back, or at least entertain the idea, when he's got, you got Dave Filoni, you've got, which he consults with all the time, you've got Jon Favreau, he's been on the set of The Mandalorian. I ask y'all a question. The name Grogu, does that mean anything to you? That's George Lucas. That's a shortening of his name. Okay? The Rescue, that whole show wasn't just rescuing Grogu and the group from the Dark Troopers. It was rescuing Star Wars itself. All right, Luke showing up to rescue the franchise. That was the message behind it. You'd have to be a real box of Samsonite or not have done very well in English lit and creative writing to not have noticed that. Because I saw it when I got up. Mazer has told me about what was going on and said I was right, Luke. It was Luke that showed up, and I was like, okay. So I went down and watched it, and I saw the episode was called The Rescue, and I'm like, okay, here we go. I know what this really means, and the reason why the story group had a shit fit is because they know what that meant too. They know what it meant too. Okay? And they were not happy because they think they're doing quite well and they're not. George, if you take away a few letters in George Lucas, you get Grogu. See, it's kind of like what, and I think it's a big middle finger to the story group, and Pablo inserting his name everywhere in the High Republic, and Leax Gayasi and all the rest of that shit. Okay, but let's go further. Why wouldn't he entertain that? You know, it's not out of the realm of possibility. So the people being negative, are you doing this for channel hits? That's fine, be honest. But don't sit there and act like you know what's going on with George Lucas when you don't know him. None of us know him. I do know if I was a person, who had created Star Wars, and I saw what these wretched, untalented, worthless hacks have done, I'd want to come back and fix it too. Now think about this. We wake up some morning in September, about a week after Indiana Jones 5 wraps. I would think it's going to be about a 3 or 4 month shoot. If it's 4 month, it'll be into October. And we're all hanging around. And we wake up in the morning and we're doing stuff at about 3 in the afternoon Eastern time. Variety, Deadspin, Deadline Hollywood, Hollywood Reporter, All Post. George Lucas comes back as a financial partner into Lucasfilm. I want to say this. First off, hey Dave, hey Troy. First off, you're going to see Disney stocks go up. Naturally. Okay? People going, yay. The fans lose their shit. It is a sound business decision to at least attempt to do it. Secondly, and this is for George, it would be a thing that if I were him, all right, I'll project myself onto him, I would do it. I would do it in a heartbeat. All right? Indiana Jones is a collaboration between him and Steven Spielberg. Star Wars is him. That's his thing. Totally his thing. And to see what has happened to it is, it's like watching criminals get away with murder. You know, when Doomcock calls these wretched slugs cultural vandals, he's right. He's right. And they can't help themselves. I mean, hey, Mazarus. So I sit there and go, if you honestly don't think I said slugs, but okay, sluts. Okay, I'm doing it. Troy, what'd you say? All right, Steph, is George coming back? I think what's going to happen is, all right, let's, because this is the thing. Indy 5 is going to start filming either this week or next week. It's Harrison Ford's already there. I've got multiple pictures, multiple sightings of him in the area, and they moved that scheduling up. Okay, they've moved the scheduling up. Why? because Kennedy is going to be gone at the end of October, and they want her to be able to be part of the production team before the movie wraps. Okay? So that means she's probably not even in California. She's probably sitting there asking Harrison how he likes his coffee, which is probably black, knowing him. Yeah, Mazuris is right. So what happens in the meantime? You've got Filoni being announced again. Let me go back again. That was not a website oversight. That was an announcement. And if you don't think it was, you're an idiot. Okay? This is politics. Well, Daryl, if you honestly think she has any control over the story, I can't. No, she doesn't. Being an executive producer is a lot of things. I would say you're probably going to see Steven Spielberg there quite a bit because, he's basically said, I'm going to be hands on with this. Mangold is an alpha male director. He is probably the last person she wanted to see direct this movie. And Harrison Ford, well, I don't really see him allowing any SJW shit with his own, with his own, with this. Okay, he considers this his thing, and I don't really see her having any say. I mean, I have got, and one of these days I'll go up and get it, a GQ from 2017, October 2017, the month that Blade Runner 2049 came out. He was on the cover of it. The kid, the reporter, went out and interviewed him at his house, and I gotta say this. He took delivery of a script for Indy 5. It had to be the third script that I'd heard of that had been written. One of the writers attached to it at one time was John Kasdan. I know, you're all vomiting now. I know, I am too. But it ended up being James Mangold writing it and directing it. One writer, one director, it works. This is how you fucking do movies. Okay, so I don't really see her having anything to say about it. The thing about it is, they moved the filming up. And I can only say the reason why is because she's probably going to be on her way out when it wraps. Okay? And they wanted to give her her gold watch and whatever else, award, or else, she gets. I mean, yeah, here's the deal. Her husband wanted to do this movie. Okay? So I look at Frank Marshall as being the brains behind this anyway. But she'll be there just kind of probably standing on the set going, but, we might even see George show up. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. The thing about it is, what I envision is Filoni. I mean, he's number 3 with Mohsen Gupta. Okay, then we got basically 2 empty offices, so who's going to come in? What it looks like to me is they're oh, I would do that in a heartbeat, Daryl. What it looks like to me is this. They're not going to announce the new leader of Lucasfilm until May of 22, and I'm hoping to be in Anaheim for that, if I can swing it. So anybody else who's out there, we can all party like rock stars the entire week. But I do think that Jon Favreau will end up being the head of Lucasfilm. And I think what's going to happen is, before that, I think George is probably going to help restructure it and get it back to working condition. I mean, you can't look at Pablo's Twitter account that's public and not go, what the hell is wrong with him? Okay? He's barely tweeting from it. He went off on somebody, and then he said something really revealing, and you know, uh, so yeah, whoever's going to step into it, it's going to be somebody who talks to Lucas at a great length. Having a financial stake, guys, doesn't mean you're running the studio, okay? Oh, God. I mean, I would, I mean, dude. And I gotta tell you, he looks great. He looks like he's about 50 years old, 55. I'm not kidding you. I mean, the guy, he's indestructible. I just look at him and go, you know, he's just, I mean, wow. Wow. So anybody who's saying he's too old to play Indy, please kiss my ass. Okay? All right? He just looks phenomenal. He really, really does. Um, so yeah, I mean, but as far as George not coming back, I don't see why he wouldn't. And saying he wouldn't says a lot more about the person saying he wouldn't than it does about George. Again, this is George's baby. This is his life. Life's, this is his legacy. And the idea that he would have no fucks to give about it anymore, that's you. That's on the person saying that. That's you being upset about Luke in TLJ. That's you not willing to go out there and fight for it. Okay? If you're so black-pilled that you can't look at the man and say they're destroying what he built, why wouldn't he come and try to fix it? I can't. I can't. I mean, I just, I can't. And I have a lot of reasons for that. And it's really disappointing because some people are smart enough to know better. Um, everybody's been let down before in their lives. But history always shows that sometimes good will out. And right now I think good is winning. Now I'll tell you something else. Kathleen Kennedy was the leading person in the whole woke shit in Hollywood. If Hollywood knows what a lousy job she's done at Lucasfilm and she goes off into the sunset, it doesn't mean anything. It's for show, but they know. They know. You're going to see slowly but surely, because it's going to be like stopping a ship before it hits the Titanic, or before it hits an iceberg. You're going to see things slowly but surely stop being woke. We had a WB writer get fired for insisting that Clark Kent's parents should be black. It's like, well, duh. We've got other things going on like that. Okay? It's a slow process, but okay, I just found out something very interesting, and I'm not going to get off of this. That is, I know things I can't talk about. Anyway, it's all just very interesting to me. All of this that a person would just let themselves just get into a place where, even when something good does happen, Dave Filoni being announced with that promotion, that's a good thing. And people still shit about it. You've got prequel haters. Well, even if Lucas comes back, it doesn't mean anything. Shut up. Shut the F up. Okay? He is the reason why we're talking about this shit. All right? I've said it before, I'll say it again. There are people out there who are so consequential that without them, there are things that would not have happened the way they did. Okay? George Lucas. We wouldn't have Star Wars and we wouldn't have Indiana Jones. Okay? There's no way in fucking hell Hollywood could have come up with Indiana Jones without him. Okay? Don't even go there with me. All right? So, attacking Lucas because you felt cheated out of the sequels is or prequels is bullshit. Okay? You know, and I am, you know, yeah, and what Troy said, I mean, if he's back in any way, shape, or form, she wouldn't tolerate it. She would not tolerate that. We have to remember these things. These things are very important to remember. Okay? And we have to understand that this is a process. It's not like you're working at a company, you fuck up, you get fired. Okay? It is firing somebody or getting rid of somebody getting rid of somebody that has been incompetent at the level of KK and I don't know, Ron. I'm just, you can't just fire her. Despite me thinking, why can't they? Um, you know, does she have all those contacts and is she that popular? I look at her and think, no, she's not. But I don't know that. None of us know that. And it's very interesting to me. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna say this, and this will make heads explode. I think George has been around working on Mando with the guys since they started talking about Mando. I think Iger went to him and begged him to help out. And I think John Favreau reached out to ask for help. Um, you know, Ahsoka was born under his supervision. Okay, I'm not a huge fan. Uh, some idiot on Inside the Inside the Magic was touting that she's a more powerful Jedi than Luke. What the fuck are you talking about? Go sit over there and think about what you said. You know? Um, but yeah, I think he's been there. I do believe, I do believe Doomcock when Kennedy said, "This nonsense will end, or I'll burn it all down." And she tried with the Gina thing. Because I'm gonna tell you this, Gina didn't have a contract with Lucasfilm. They were probably working on that when Kennedy let this out of the bag. And I mean, yeah, I mean, you're right, Maze. It's really funny. There is a speech and a talk that both George and Steven Spielberg gave, I think, at the film school at USC, talking about technology and where film was going. And George said, television and the way people can get entertainment is going to be, that's the way it's going to go. And Spielberg and him both talked about that the era of the blockbuster was over. I mean, give you an example. I was 12 years old. It's December. We're getting ready for Christmas. Downtown shopping for Christmas presents with my sister. And the Hollywood Theater, you know what's on the marquee? The Empire Strikes Back. It's in December of 1980. That movie spent months at the theater. Months. People were still going to it in droves. I saw it after Thanksgiving when the girls were like, "Okay, we'll drop the kids off at the movies. we'll go shopping, and when the movie's over, we'll come pick them up and we'll go get dinner. That's what they did. And since I was the oldest, I was the one that had to herd everybody, a nephew and a niece. You know, but that's just November of 1980. Movies can't stay at a theater more than 2, 3, 4 weeks anymore. I mean, that's the shelf life. Now, that's part of the problem is technology to the point where you have your own home theater that you can watch a movie at home, the expense, and the movies are lousy. The fucking movies are lousy. Okay, the guys at Midnight Edge were talking about how lousy they are anymore. You know, when I look at a movie like Fast and Furious, and I think all it is car chases, explosions, and bad acting, I'm like, you know, a movie like that should have a story. Just saying. And back in the day, they had stories. Yeah, well, I mean, Raiders of the Lost Ark. That was at that theater till like November. That theater showed E.T. and Raiders. And you get, I think there were two screens. And it's a very old theater building. And there was a balcony that never opened, which sucked because we wanted to be up in the balcony. Because when you got a bunch of teenagers, they want to be up to where they can pelt people with popcorn and lemon heads, because that's what we did. um, you know, so, you know, I mean, it really was a great time to be a film fan. The entire 80s were. There's so many good movies coming out, and the talent pool was so deep. All the directors, all the actors, all the writers. It was just unbelievable. And it was like a second golden age. And the 90s hit us. We had a couple more good movies. We had, you know, Braveheart and some others, but then it just went, I mean, nihilism and crap took over. Nihilism and crap. And, you know, movies have just gotten worse and worse and worse and worse. Okay. Lucas saw it happening. I mean, and other people saw it happening. You know, it is a natural progression of human technology to have something that you can have as a convenience. Gonna say something that's gonna shock the shit out of you. Human beings are lazy and they don't want to work for it. Okay? And the more they have, the less they want to work. All right? If they've had to work for it all their life, they might be Elon Musk. All right? Or my husband. But a lot of the people, and especially kids that were born millennials of a certain ilk and Zoomers, they think the world owes them. It's like, fuck you little fucking brat. Okay? You know, it is just, that is what it is, you know. But yeah, I mean, going back to Lucas, I give it a 50-50 chance that he's already back. And again, look at what's going on. Look at the way Pablo's been acting. All right? He's scared shitless, by the way. All right? If you look at the way George Lucas ran Lucasfilm, it was a tight ship. And everybody was marching towards the sound of the guns in a very, his vision was the only vision. Okay? Now, a lot of people like Pablo, who think the world revolves around them, Copernicus called, and it's true. The world does not revolve around you, Pablo. You couldn't treat people badly. You couldn't do what you've done, create shitty characters like Afra and, you know, Tarkin as a homo and Panda Lando. That's not the way they fucking were written. Okay? I hate to tell the asshole that runs his Xenophet Wikipedia, but Governor Tarkin isn't gay, and if he was, it wasn't meant to be known because that fucking doesn't matter. And Lando wasn't pansexual, or whatever the fuck that means. Alright? So, stop it. They put an Instagram post putting up characters that are supposed to be homos and lesbians in Star Wars. And of course, you got Dr. Afra macking on some blah, blah. You know, you want to make me throw up, push that up. And then at the end, it's got Tarkin and Lando. And I'm like, and they used a picture of Billy D. Williams. You want to know why? Because they hate him. You know, if I was, when they get the changes done, if I ran Lucasfilm, I would run the people that run Wikipedia off. I would have that deleted. I would say this is Star Wars. We are all inclusive. We don't do Pride Month. Okay? Oh, I want to tell you guys something. Lico did some character drawings for my Han Solo origin story that are absolutely beautiful. They're absolutely gorgeous. I did show Nick and Coach from Echo Base. And they are fucking cool. I mean, they were like, oh my God, they're that good. Okay. When he's done and we get to, I'll unveil him here, but I've got to get working on that thing again to make it more readable. Yeah, I mean, they're beautiful, you know, and when I'll unveil what they look like. Okay. In fact, I'll put the story up on my own page with the pictures. Okay. Just because, you know, it's really, it made me really think that my writing is decent enough to where somebody could actually see the way I see those characters the way I saw those characters. That's the thing that shocked me. Okay, that's the thing that shocked me. I was like, so I will show when he's done. I will put it all together, and it'll be really great. But anyway, back to George. There's absolutely no reason not to believe it's going to happen, and there's no reason to believe it's going to happen. The idea that people are going out of their way to convince us it's not says a lot more about them. Okay? Because they're not looking at the money. I know money is not their thing. It's not my thing. I've made it my thing. Because, again, when I start looking at it, I was like, there has to be a way to get these fuckers out of here. There has to. And I'll tell you, here's the biggest clue. When JPEG announced they're going to a distribution model. So guess who counts? You and me. Not Pablo, not Charles Soule, not that bitch from down the road, Justina Ireland. You and me. Okay, the fans, the consumers. That is the biggest takeaway. All right. And that says that they're looking to cash in on something. And I mean, you know, we don't know when. I mean, Doomcock posted that video. We don't know when George actually went and started talking to him about this. This negotiation could have been going on for years. All right. Talking about it over dinner. Talking about it over conference calls, Zoom calls, whatever. And it's just really, really amazing that it's almost like people don't want something good to happen. And that's what really shocks me. You say you love Star Wars, but when you hear something good like this, it's still a rumor, it's not substantiated, but still, there's a possibility there. And you know it's not going to happen. Why? He would never come back. Why would he? Blah, blah, blah. And you know this how? And that's where the argument crumbles. And it's too bad because a lot of these people are really good people, but they're not thinking with the right there. They're thinking about what they would do. I'm thinking about what George would do and how he feels about Star Wars and how he feels about what Disney's done to it. Okay? And he's put way too much of his life and heart and soul into this to let this shit happen. I mean, I guess you have to be somebody who has really put you know what? I'm gonna say this about Gina. A lot of you guys have put your heart and souls into that, and gone and ratioed Kennedy and all the rest of that stuff. It's gonna be up to her because I'm pretty sure they're gonna probably ask her back. And if she says no, that says you who she is. Okay, that tells you who she is. And I'm gonna say this about her. Cara Dune made her career. All right. You guys, a lot of you guys would have known who she was until she appeared. Okay? Think about it. Until she appeared as Cara Dune. I don't know who she was. I don't watch those fights. I don't watch Fast and the Furious and the rest of that crap. I do too, and I hope she does. I don't buy into she's not going to come back, because my good feelings for her would die. I'd be like, recast her then. All right, good luck to you with Ben Shapiro in the conservative ghetto. All right, the best model for staging a comeback after major cancellation, and he was canceled way worse. It was a long time ago before this shit happened with Gina. Mel Gibson. Now he's getting ready to start another movie in Paris. He just finished one, he's going off to do another one. It's very interesting to me seeing how he's revived his career. All right. And it's really telling. My thing is, I've learned enough in this life not to jump at the first offer. Okay. I learned that the hard way. I was offered an internship in Berlin with the City Planning Commission, so I took it. 2 days later, I was offered an internship with the Berlin Museums, which was one I really wanted, but I already had that one. What I should have done was said, I can do your internship next semester. And I should have just said, okay, I'm going to stay for a year. And that's what I should have done. Okay. Truly, really spent more time there. And I didn't, and it was stupid. It was stupid. Okay. Of me to do that. And I mean, and again, the opportunities are there, and I didn't take it. I was young and not thinking. They don't want to believe. Here's the deal. They don't want to believe those people are leaving, even though the proof is in the pudding. And I think part of it is they're very negative people in general. They look at the world through very black-pilled lenses, and they've never really had that position to where they have a chance to do something, come back and do something like that. And I'll tell you, I think a lot of YouTube channels really bank on misery and anger and outrage. I'm not going to name them, but I could think about it. One of the reasons why I love Midnight's Edge is that it's very intellectual. Andre brings up a lot about the money, Tom and everybody else, and it's not just fanboys ranting. And a lot of this is fanboys ranting, okay? And, it gets old. It gets really old. And when I found those guys, I was really happy because I could sit there and listen to somebody who actually spoke my language. Because there's something has to give. There's something that has to break the dam of this bullshit. And it's happening. You don't have to believe it, but it's happening. All right? It's happening. All right? It's not just something I gotta believe it, but I would hope she does multimedia. I would hope she does. And I think she will. But, there's always a possibility, as long as she didn't sign an exclusive contract with Shapiro. Okay. But I forgot my point. Anyway, there comes to a point where you got to sit down and go, okay, where do we go from here? All right. Like I said yesterday, we're in the middle of a cultural war. Okay. There aren't guns being fired. There aren't bombs being thrown. Last summer there was, because a bunch of assholes decided they had license to pull shit, especially in DC. But we're at war. We're at war. And we're winning. Okay. This has been a long time in coming. Andrew Breitbart said, culture is upstream from politics. These people have come in, the Pablo Hidalgos, the stupid wife, the Phil Stroziks, the Matt Martins with their fucking pronouns, and the Ryan Johnsons with his man baby bullshit and all the rest of that stuff. It really we've been at war with these people. We didn't know we were at war. This thing started back in the 90s. And you guys saw American Beauty. What a piece of shit movie. Of course, it won the Academy Award, but it was a piece of shit movie. Okay. Nihilism, attacking values, traditions, white people in general, what virtues that decent people hold under attack, and getting a lot of things that weren't necessarily normalized. I mean, now they're probably going to try to get pedophilia normalized. I mean, we're in the process of, little girls wandering around wondering if they're boys or girls now because they're fucking teachers. Okay, these people have gotten into our education system. They've gotten into our movies, music, novels. Look at Justine Ireland. You know what she wrote her master's thesis on? Microaggressions in children's literature. Break up into groups and think about what that means. I'm still like, so you took out a loan to get a master's degree, And the taxpayers pay for that shit. What? You know, these people have ingrained themselves like wood ticks into our culture. And this is where the war is won and fought. Before it turns out into a bloody straight fight. Okay. And having Shopify tell the woke folk to go fuck themselves is really amazing, because that's the first instance where a company, a global company, said, no, we're not going to do that. Gotta understand what that means. That's going to be the first of many. Okay. Now, Disney is as woke as ever, but I think Chapek, if he hasn't realized it, will realize it, that they've gone too far, and he's going to have to slow it down. Oh, yeah. I mean, fire all of them. I mean, you're right, Mace. You know, so, but we're at war with these people. And instead of, saying they're crying about the EU or crying about this or that, the other thing, if you're just going to sit there and throw negativity out there, they've won. They've won. You are literally pulling defeat out of the jaws of victory when you do that. And well, yeah, I mean, you're right, because look, for normal people back in the day, the racist bullshit was basically over. Okay. Now we've got, of course they do, Maze. Of course they do. And when Obama became president, if you're an Obama fan, I'm sorry, I'm going to say this, he went after everybody. And he knew how to make white bourgeois, I'm not saying that right, white left Americans feel guilty. All right, he was black, and he knew how to make white people feel guilty, that kind of white people. And then there are those of us who are like, what the fuck are you talking about? I mean, I owe you nothing, asshole. My attitude is this: I was raised this way. You treat everybody equally. Everybody was created in God's image. Everybody. You treat everybody equally. All right? I don't give a shit what color you are. Don't shove that in my face. Don't shove your sexuality in my face, and don't lead with it. Oh, hi, I'm Rupert. I'm a fag. Ugh. I don't care. Why are you telling me this? There's literally the last thing I want to know. And oh, by the way, I can already tell you're already putting the signals out there. I have really good gaydar, but thanks for adding emphasis. You narcissistic fruit pie. I just, I don't care. None of us should care, and none of us did. None of us did until Obama showed up. And then he had the gall. He started this shit with the SJWs. Then he had the gall to complain about it like a year ago. And I'm like this. Dickhead, you started this. You started this shit. You started this. Okay? You. Okay? And that's kind of where it's at. But we're at war with these people. And right now, it looks like we're winning with Lucasfilm. Disney can't sell SJW Star Wars. They think they can. They just released Bounty Hunters #1, the Marvel comic, which will probably sell 3. All right. It's not going to go anywhere. I mean, Every Star Wars fan I know. Okay, I'm not gonna buy it. I don't give a shit. You know, but you've got Heart of the Jedi that creamed them. Oh, oh, I know. I mean, that's the thing is that I don't get what they're doing, but I'm gonna tell you guys something. This is a war we can win. A lot of people who are very woke aren't gonna have jobs at the end of this. Oh, I know, Maze. I know. A lot of people, I mean, but is George coming back? 50-50 chance. And I'm optimistic. Why? Because Disney needs the money and they need a home run. And him walking out on stage as not necessarily the leader of Lucasfilm, but the guiding hand, and everybody knows it, will cause a bomb of joy spread across the planet that can't be quantified. Okay? Because Disney needs the money. Bob Chapek isn't stupid. All right? Anyway, I'm going to go to the store to get dinner. You guys behave yourselves. Don't do anything that I wouldn't do. And I'm going to start tomorrow at 10 o'clock coffee time with you guys for about an hour, half hour. And then tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, I'll be live again. Okay, I'm going to start doing those. And then I'll probably do like a video in between or something. I don't know. Whatever trips my trigger. But anyway, you guys have a good afternoon. Oh, you're right, Jeremy. And behave yourselves. If something good does come across the wire, I'll come back tonight. Okay, because I've got time. Hubby's working late, so I'll be able to mess around with you guys late if something good happens. I'll see you around the galaxy. And remember, Indy 5 starts filming either Friday or next week. Harrison Ford's already in England. The pictures are everywhere, and it's good. I'll see you around the galaxy, guys.